Raising children who are emotionally healthy is a challenge in today's fast-paced world. Parents hope to nurture kindness, empathy, and compassion in their children. How can we instill these qualities in the next generation? What practical steps can parents, educators, and caregivers take to help children grow into emotionally intelligent and caring individuals? As part of this series, I had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Lia Munson. Lia is a Chopra certified meditation instructor with 20 years of experience coaching mindfulness and holistic well-being. She brings her expertise in mindfulness as a healing modality to the alternative health and wellness space through her platform, Resilient Stories, a website dedicated to personal growth, self-discovery, and emotional healing. Through her work, Lia offers accessible, evidence-based mindfulness techniques designed to enhance self-awareness and build lasting emotional resilience. Lia, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Stanley?
Super. Based upon what I just said about you, I can tell I love you already. Um,
Well, thank you. Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you. And that's what this is all about, really. Isn't that what it's really about in raising good, healthy kid children?
Absolutely. It's what so much is about, the love, right?
Um, I have found, yes, I have found that a lot of parents, they raise their children the way they were raised. And I mean, I know in my particular case, while I loved my father dearly, my mother died when I was 8, but while I loved my father dearly, and he taught me a lot of good things, there were a lot of areas where he didn't necessarily know, how to guide me in the best direction. So how do you, how do parents, it's a great responsibility to be a parent. How do you figure things out when the way you were trained may or may not have been necessarily the best way?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is a great responsibility, kind of the same way that just being a human is like a great, awesome responsibility, and we have to just figure that out as we go along. Parents, as parents, we never have all of the answers. We never always make the correct choice or always react the perfect way, despite how much we might try. So it's really hard. My best advice is have some self-compassion, and be kind to yourself. It's really hard to break patterns and cycles, especially generational ones. And as long as you're aware that there's a pattern you want to break somewhere, just one of them, you're already ahead of a lot of people. So that awareness, just keeping that awareness in your mind, trying your best every day, knowing you're never going to be perfect at it, and letting that be okay.
Not being perfect is okay.
Yeah.
You're human beings. There is never, the world has never produced a perfect human being. And I can promise you, no one listening is going to be the first.
Yes,
I can,
I
I
believe
can
you.
promise that. I mean, you and I might get close, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Um, you are correct. Awareness is the number one key. Being aware. And on some level, most of us, when we're messing up, we know we messed up.
Hmm.
We do. But then the question becomes, what do we do with that knowledge?
Hmm.
Do we beat ourselves up? Do we punish ourselves? Do we engage in a bunch of negative self-talk and make ourselves feel bad? Or do we sit there and say, man, I really screwed up there. Why don't I learn from that?
Yeah.
Why don't I use what I learned to grow?
Yeah.
And let's try to do better next time.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's That's the only thing we can that we're capable of doing. Achieving perfection is not something that we're capable of, but we are capable of increasing our awareness so that we don't default to the negative self-talk and the self-criticism, and all the things that the world conditioned us to believe about ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our own world
Yeah. Yeah.
happened.
And then,
Let's talk about mindfulness for a minute. It's a word that I'm sure a lot of people have heard.
yeah.
What does it mean to you?
I have an interesting relationship to this word. I'm a mindfulness expert and I'm a certified mindfulness professional, but I don't actually like the word mindfulness. I think it's misleading. I think that it means, I guess in the literal sense that your mind should be full of things, but it's quite the opposite. Mindfulness,
Mind emptiness. Okay, let's
yeah,
talk about
yeah, yeah. Mindfulness is about a detached awareness of all things. And so much about the word mindfulness feels, at least to me, like there's this attachment, or that these things that you have to remember and do and follow through with and be attached to. And mindfulness really is about detaching from all that and simply being aware of the present moment, and that's it.
so letting go,
Yes,
detaching.
yes,
So
well said.
we need to come up with a new word.
We do. I like the letting go. It's something. Letting go-ness doesn't quite work, but we could start. We
It
could start
works. It works for me. I mean, you're um we can call it that. You know,
letting go-ness.
when we launch the £1,000,000 weight loss challenge, we can call it letting go-ness.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
call it whatever you want. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
can you talk for a minute about letting go-ness?
Yeah, yeah. So letting go is, I think one of the few real keys to a lasting happiness, achieving a sense of lasting happiness and fulfillment, and real joy in your life really depends largely on your ability to let go, or another way to say it would be to not resist um, the things that have come your way in life or do come your way. Um, there's a very strong power in accepting and not resisting, in letting go, not holding on. So letting go is something that's not easy, especially with the conditioned patterns that we develop as we grow as human beings. But like mindfulness, it's something that you have to practice. It's something that you have to consciously be consistent with in order for it to grow in your life. And it is possible for it to grow. You can actually become a lot better at letting go, at not resisting, at being accepting of the things that are or the things that come your way. And when you have that acceptance or non-resistance, every other area of your life flows more easily and more naturally, and you are in a state where you can make better, healthier choices for yourself.
May I rephrase what you just said with one word change?
Please.
Okay. To me, letting go is not something we have to do.
Okay.
It's something we get to do.
Okay.
It's a privilege. What you are sharing I mean, people listening, this is some privileged information here. What Leah is telling you is pure gold. Um, and aren't there a lot of studies out there that show children, especially children who have behavioral difficulties, when they are exposed to letting go-ness training, we'll call it that instead of mindfulness.
Sure.
When they were exposed to letting go-ness training, it helps them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there are a lot of studies like that. Children and adults alike, and it's evidence that letting go-ness is for everybody of every age, of every whatever background. Doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or 30 or 100. Letting go-ness is always for you and for you to practice.
Yes, and it's extremely helpful. I certainly wish someone would have taught it to me when I was much younger, or I would have been exposed to it, would have found it. I mean, we didn't have the internet when I was growing up. Otherwise, I may have found it on my own because I always had a pretty inquisitive mind where I was doing my own research, but never found it.
Yeah.
Although it's been around for thousands of years.
Isn't that funny?
Yes, it's very funny. It
Mhm.
amazes me how I'll have an idea pop into my head, and then I'll find some Chinese proverb that's 2,500 years old that talks about the same idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
Isn't that great? I love when scientific research validates something that was scribbled in a text 5,000 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things I feel and I believe. I don't necessarily think you need to have scientific proof of it.
Sure.
It works. It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And come on.
Yeah. The scientific proof is kind of a bonus. It's kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If someone, as you know, as we discussed before, a lot of our listeners, we're here to talk about weight loss, healthy weight loss. And I define healthy weight loss is ideally is doing things naturally. But, but if people, have taken the weight loss drugs or are taking them, that's fine. If people have bariatric surgery, that's fine. But I'm a believer. I believe, I know from my experience, it is possible to do this. I strongly believe in the ability of every single person out there to be able to do this. And belief is such a key component. How do you help somebody learn to believe, especially if they've had failure after failure after failure after failure? I mean, with me, I failed. I would lose weight and then it would come back on plus more.
Mhm.
And I had many failures. And it was only when I learned to turn those failures into learning experiences and stop beating myself up over the head over it that I was able to do something about it.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think that sounds like a common experience for most all of us, right? That um, it's really hard to believe in ourselves, especially much harder than it is to believe in other people, right? It's very hard to believe in ourselves. That inherent self-doubt or lack of self-worth that many of us learned makes it really hard to have belief. But I think like what you said was, it wasn't until you learned to, or it wasn't until you got lessons from those experiences that you were able to really turn it around, right? And I think that that's one way you can help people believe in themselves, is that we can sort of see other people's lessons better than they can sometimes, right? So just making them aware of the things that we see in them, sort of helping them rewrite the story a little bit from the story that they tell them in their head, they're telling themselves in their head, right? To
Yeah.
the story that is more real and accurate.
That is more resilient.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's one way you can inspire people to start having more belief. And that's where the power of, you know, a narrative or your story really comes in. And we can always rewrite our story, you know, tell ourselves a different story. So
I know my experience of weight loss. I like to say I'm a pretty confident guy, but the experience of doing what I did blew my mind. And it taught me a few things. One thing it taught me was that I'm capable of doing even more than I ever imagined. I'm a believer that everyone, even the most confident people out there, are capable of doing more than they ever imagined.
yeah,
And it's happened too many times. I've seen it happen too many times to not believe in that. I believe this world is capable of doing more than we might have ever imagined. And whoever's listening, I don't know you. I don't know anything about your story, but I believe in you. I believe that we are all special. I am no more special than you. Leah is no more special than you. We've been able to do these things. It's by learning. It's a process of growth. And yet we all have doubts. I mean, but it's okay. And forgive yourself for having these doubts. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made. Don't
yeah,
beat yourself over the head. Love yourself.
yes,
What an incredible world it would be if we all would love ourselves. And while we're at it, love the people around us a little bit more too.
yeah, absolutely. I actually believe that it's our only real true job and purpose on earth to learn how to love ourselves, just ourselves, and that's it, because then everything else just happens.
You're right.
Yeah.
It is. And the universe, be it God, Jesus, Allah, the universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever the higher power, wants to help us.
Yeah. Yeah.
The universe, there's a word. Okay, you know what paranoia is, don't you? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
paranoia is everybody's conspiring against you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a word that I learned. It's called pronoia. That's when everything is conspiring to do things that are in your favor.
Ooh, really good. I like that.
Let's all suffer from pronoia.
Yes. Yes. Let's make that trendy.
Yes, everything is conspiring to help us, and it
Yeah.
happens to me all the time.
Mhm.
I sit there and I say, I need this, and don't worry about it. And then boom, 5 minutes later, it walks right in front of me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Time and time and time again. And in my life, some of my neediest moments were when the very thing I needed magically appeared.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very that's a very like sort of prominent spiritual concept. You've heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of like right thought leads to right action. So like when everything is right and in alignment and in balance and in harmony up here, everything in the outside life just falls into place. You don't have to do anything for it. It just happens.
You could call that the eight part of the Eight Noble Truths.
Yeah.
You could call that the secret. You could
Yeah.
call that the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Although the law of attraction, I call it the law of reciprocity. It's not
Yeah.
the law of attraction because if you want love, give it away.
Mm,
If you want money, help other people become wealthy. If you want health, help other people become healthy. You want success, help other people become successful because it comes your way. It comes
mhm,
back to you. It's all about helping each other.
mhm,
And
mhm.
that is part of the message that our community that we talk about is love, helping, caring. And I sit there and when I talk to you and when I read some of the things you wrote, I mean, the love that you have inside yourself pours off the page.
Mm. Thanks.
It's obvious. And that's so powerful. And we all can be like that.
Mm.
We all have it inside of ourselves,
Yeah,
don't we?
it's true. It's in all of us. We're all the exact same thing from the exact same source. We all have more capability in us, than we can even comprehend, right? So, yeah.
We just, I was going to say have to train ourselves to access it, but there I go again. It's we get to train ourselves to
Yeah.
access it.
Yeah.
Is
And I
our,
like that. I
it
like
is,
that. It is a privilege.
it's a reframe,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, changing our perspective.
Mhm.
It's just like I tell myself that every morning when I get up to exercise. I don't go, oh, I have to go exercise. I go, I get to go exercise. I am healthy. I am in good shape. I've built myself into good shape. It's my privilege to go do what I'm going to go do.
Mm.
And then go out in the world and see what's going on. And you see interesting things. And when you spend as much time working on yourself as I'm sure Leah advocates, when you spend as much time doing that, you figure some things out and you learn a lot and you meet the most interesting person you're ever going to meet. You know who that is?
Yourself.
That's right.
Yeah,
You will be
absolutely.
amazed at what is inside of you.
Yeah.
And and those of you who are parents who are listening, think what's inside your kids.
Yeah.
Teach your kids these things.
Mhm.
Learn these things for yourself. Let your kids watch you while you're doing it. Be a model
Yeah.
for your kids.
Yeah.
I know somebody just the other day, I saw their daughter just got a driver's license and they got her a car and they said they would tell her, better drive carefully, all while her mother gets in the car and drives like a bat out of hell going down. Yeah. So it's be a model.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, just be aware. That's it right there.
Yeah.
It's all
Yep.
about because, and don't be ashamed of yourself when you mess up.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Love yourself, embrace it, embrace the challenges in front of you. Think of obstacles. When you encounter a barrier, when you encounter an obstacle, think of it as a doorway inviting you to open it up and walk through
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's not there to stop you. It's there
absolutely.
to strengthen you.
Yeah. Yep.
As we go to wrap this up, is there anything else you want to add? to what we've been talking about?
I don't think so. Just that I love what you're doing. And I think anyone, anywhere who's using their life in service of spreading this message of self-love, of empowerment, of, the ability to change starting today. Because so often we think it's too late for us to change, right?
Never too late until it's too late.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I just want to say how much I admire that you're doing the work to spread that message, and something that I wholeheartedly believe in as well. So thank you.
Well, I look forward to working together in the future and bringing the message together because I know that you have a powerful message as well, and it's a consistent message. Both these messages, it's consistent.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And they're the same, even though they're topically different, perhaps they're the same. The essence of the message is the same. Whether you're talking about weight loss, whether you're talking about depression and anxiety, whether you're talking about, whatever, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, the essence of the message is the same, right?
yep.
Yeah. So,
All learning to love ourselves and love other people while we're at it.
yeah, that's it.
So maybe we should call this the £1,000,000 Love Challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. £1,000,000 love and weight loss challenge. That's
Yeah.
not too long.
So it's already too long, but that's okay. Thank you very much, Leah. This has been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Thank you so much, Stanley. Thanks.
You're welcome.